stimulus.
He needs to visualize. He needs to visualize his character. He needs to visualize his character.
Okay.
No, I mean like share your screen. What does it look
Oh,
like?
you want me to? Oh, okay, that's. Hey guys, my name is Robert. Wow, that was really bad. Hold on, we're gonna go back. No.
What?
We're
No,
gonna
no,
do that
no,
shit.
no, let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. Keep rolling. Keep
That
rolling.
was really bad.
Keep rolling.
Holy fuck. Take two. That was really
Keep it
bad.
in,
Oh my god.
No,
Keep it in.
roll the ball. Roll the ball.
Keep it in.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. Just go.
Yeah. My name is Nathan.
My name is Josh, and we are
And we are Mom Said No
Mom Said
Productions.
No Productions.
Mom Said No Productions. Yeah.
Hey guys, Editor Robert here. There may or may not be a really loud hissing noise in the background. We're getting it fixed for the next episode. Don't worry about it. And yeah, that's basically it. So the year currently, a couple days before New Year, is 2025. And then, us watching movies, making movies, I thought it'd be funny. Josh gave me the idea to do a 2025 film year in review.
I did.
I've come up, yeah.
When was this? Oh, okay. I do know. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
So today, just to give everyone a quick overview, we got three main topics. We got underrated movies of 2025, we got overrated movies of 2025, and we got your favorite movies of 2025. Everybody has an answer in their head, and I'm just gonna start. We're gonna start out with underrated movies, I think, unless there's something else that you guys want to do instead.
Nah, I think we should just dive right in.
Yeah.
So my pick for underrated movie of 2025 is this film called Companion. It has Sophie Thatcher and then it has Jack Quaid in it, directed by Drew Hancock. I'm also sick, so yeah.
Because of plague.
Yeah, I do have the plague right now.
Why did you like Companion, Robert?
Well, one, I like Companion because I like Jack Quaid. I think I'm a huge Jack Quaid fan.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Put me on.
Really? What have you seen him in? What movies have you seen him in?
I've seen him in The Boys. Not a movie, but yeah. I've seen him in his other movie, Novocaine.
Novocaine? Oh, yeah.
That also came out this year. Hunger Games. He was in Hunger Games. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure he was in like some Scream movie. Yeah. He was in a Scream movie, I think. They made 5 of those?
Wait.
Okay, whatever.
You don't need to watch that movie anyways.
6.
You don't need to watch that movie anyways.
I've actually only watched the very first Scream, so I don't know anything about anything after that.
I mean, that's low-key the only one you have to really watch anyways.
Courtney Cox is in this movie? What?
Fuck.
I
also really wanted to watch his movie Plus One. I just never found it on anywhere, but it's all right.
I don't even see it on his IMDb. What do you? It's called Plus One.
Yeah, it's
on
called Plus
Tubi.
One.
It's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. Well, maybe
Yeah.
I'll pray to the Tubi gods and fucking watch it.
Who still has Tubi?
I don't know.
I have Tubi.
Okay.
Anyway.
It actually has a solid amount of movies. So.
Anyways, yeah, my pick is Companion. I watched it in theaters when it came out with my girlfriend. I had a great time. She had a great time. She also really likes the film a lot. And then the reason why I say is an underrated movie 2025 is because who the fuck talks about Companion in 2025? I think no one has talked about this movie after it came out. We have a little criteria score on why you would say it's underrated technically. I'm gonna go with the Letterboxd score. It has a 3.4 out of 5 for the Letterboxd. Kind of low, but most films that I pick are kind of low, so it's whatever to me. And yeah,
He's a contrarian like that.
Well, to be
yeah.
fair though, 3.4 is like basically saying it's like mixed as well too.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, if you guys are interested, on IMDb it has a 6.9 out of 10, and then Rotten Tomatoes it is a 93%. So, what'd you guys think about the movie? Because I thought it was a really fun time. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys knew the main character's name is Iris, but reverse it, her name is Siri. Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
but
wait, I didn't even realize that.
Her name is actually
Damn.
Siri. Yeah, so
How did I get that? That's crazy.
that was a fun little tidbit that I learned. And yeah, AI movie, but the AI movie is in the AI side. I remember I was watching the little behind the scenes that they made for this movie, and then Drew Hancock. I'm acting like I fucking know the guy. He was saying how originally when he was making the film, it was very different in the way that it was going to be the 3 protagonists versus her, and she was going to be the antagonist. But as he was writing it and as he was getting through it, he kind of felt a sort of like shift in the tone, and he's like, oh, I'm kind of finding myself relating to Iris's character a little bit more. And then also, I don't think there's ever been a movie where they side with the AI instead of the humans. So he's like, I think this would be a more interesting angle to approach it from, and then I think he was right. to be honest.
I think it's like genuinely funny you say that because I never saw the movie as an emphasis on like for or against AI either. I think like the whole film in general was just like a view on like a more feminine perspective of love or just like love in general too and how it gets twisted.
Yeah, and it was about an incel named Josh.
Hey,
Yeah,
But
played by Jack Quaid.
played
yeah,
by
played by
Jack
Jack
Quaid.
Quaid. You see in the movie, Josh. What did he do? He modded the
Yeah,
app.
he modded the app to kind of mess up her inhibitors to because
Right.
one of the few things I like about this film is it sets boundaries very early on about what these androids can do, what these AI robots can do, and what they can't do. It's stated very early on that these robots cannot lie to you, and these robots cannot harm another
Harm you.
living thing. The only way to get past that is if you mod it. So yeah, he
Oh,
mods her, and then
yeah.
she ends up killing people.
And it's basically implied that he modded because he's an absolute freak, actually.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually. It made, I don't know.
It was more because he was just he modded her on purpose.
Yeah, to kill the Russian guy Sergey because they wanted to
Yeah.
steal his $12 million fortune. They were gonna
Oh,
blame it on
yeah.
the android because androids don't matter apparently.
It was a glitch.
Yeah,
Type. Yeah.
it's very interesting to me because I think, do you consider this movie to have 4 antagonists or just one main antagonist?
I'd say just one.
Okay, because the whole movie is Josh and his friends in regards to like Eli, Kat, Patrick, and like the rest of the gang. They do some bad shit as well. It's not like only Josh. I mean, well, except for Kat, I guess. But yeah, Nate, do you think there's one antagonist?
I think there's only one antagonist, mainly because if Iris is the protagonist, most of her beef is with Josh, and Josh is the one directly like trying to manipulate her and like be possessive on her as well too.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is completely on a whole nother plot that isn't necessarily attached to Iris. Like she isn't even trying to intentionally trying to kill the other people either. She's intentionally initially trying to escape. She kills one of his friends by like pretty much accident too, because like without complete intention either.
Yeah, he was like, Patrick, stop her, and then just dead. I'm like, oh, that's not what he meant, but okay.
Yeah.
I really like the implications of the film, how it's like this guy is a literal incel and he buys a fucking sex robot and he just like it says a lot. And then the fact that this entire movie it's always him like struggling to find control over her because she is just a robot to him.
Yeah, and
even though you do find moments where he's like kind of like trying to humanize with her and stuff like that, but it's definitely not enough because like in the beginning of the film, if you rewatch it again, you notice that his language and his behavior towards her, it's very cold right off the jump. Like you may probably notice it on the first watch, but you really notice it on the second watch.
Well, that's the thing. He's only ever affectionate towards her when it's either convenient to him or if he's gonna get something out of it.
Yeah, when they're about to have sex.
Exactly. Which is like builds a lot on I feel like the theme of this movie about how like I guess like more masculine men like basically will treat women in a sense too to manipulate
right.
them.
And you also see that the other person who has one of a male version of Iris is also a man. I'm like, huh, interesting.
Well, you bring up a good point though. I feel like that relationship between Eli and Patrick drove a very good contrast to a relationship that's actually like not exactly manipulative, but he's actually like participating in the relationship beyond the actual like objectification of it too.
Right.
To the point where the love became actually genuine. Whereas with Josh, like he essentially wanted her as like physical company, much like the Russian guy kept the woman around him as well.
Yeah.
Because
it was kind of showing us like 3 perspectives at the same time.
Because you hear later in the story how when the maintenance guys were like, it's like, oh, I thought I recognized him, but we haven't used that model in a lot time. That means Eli's had the same model for years. And not like, so it's you're putting it right. It's like a more genuine love than whatever Josh was doing.
Well,
didn't he also just get Iris just for the murder? Oh,
wait, what?
No, wait. Didn't he not get Iris just for the murder, or in part? In part,
I think in part. I think it came up later.
Not for the sole reason.
The way it was
came up later.
framed, I feel like it came up later because the way it was framed was like I think he just wanted something to like, because the whole point of Josh in this movie is that he feels like he deserves something he's entitled to something through all the bullshit that he's went through, right? So I feel like it started off with like him buying Iris to like do the girlfriend stuff, but then eventually along the way his friend Kat was like, hey, we could totally like steal this guy's money and then blame it on your Android and just return it, and he's like, you know what, that is a really good idea.
Exactly.
How did you guys feel about the overall package of the movie?
I mean at least like
if you guys were gonna rate it. If you guys were gonna rate it, how would you guys rate it?
I thought I was gonna give. Never mind.
I'd probably give it like a 7.5, maybe as close to a 7.5, like 7 flat.
I'd honestly give it a 5 flat.
A 5 flat?
Damn.
Yeah, because like I was going to say, I was only really into the first act of the movie when it was more of an emphasis on exploring the fact that he was objectifying her. So the fact, as soon as it turned to basically like a reverse slasher movie, I wouldn't even call it a horror movie either, because like most of the kills seem pretty tame. I guess I'd call it thriller, but I'd at most call it like a reverse slasher where Iris is like the main like person like killing everyone in the sense too. But that's where it lost me. I feel like it was exploring something genuinely interesting about this, and I at the very least wish it stayed in that realm more. At least even like if the movie started like even a couple months earlier where it's showing how like she's treating Iris, and the fact that Iris's programming literally causes her not to be able to even speak up or fight against this too. And the fact that like she has to deal, even at the end, deal with the fact that she was putting all this emotion in someone that essentially like didn't love her as an actual person in the first place too, compared to how Eli and Patrick did it. I thought those aspects are interesting, but the actual like package of the movie, when it turned to like this like slasher, is where it completely lost me. Because I felt like what basically felt like to me is it had this concept, this really interesting concept, and it only didn't explore it enough or didn't know how to explore it even further and did. So it just went with an easier route, which is making like it a slasher. But based on what you told me, it was originally going to be that kind of thriller, and this whole like thematic layering became like a second like overcoat for the movie in general too. But yeah, essentially why I gave the movie a 5 out of 10 is it became generic to me, and at the end of the day I was interested in something else the movie was offering. It didn't explore enough of, so everything else was kind of like executed into like a whatever kind of way based on my own taste.
I just want everyone listening to know that Nate rated this movie at 3.5 out of 5, so that direct translation to a 5 out of 10 is wrong.
Well, I actually, the more we talked about, the less I was liking it actually.
Damn, okay.
After you gave me the
information. That is insane.
Yeah, this was literally after you gave me the information. Like, hey, by the way, I was originally planning on making this movie I thought would be pretty obvious on paper that she would be the main character, focused on the men and making her the villain of the movie. It makes a lot of sense, and in that effort makes me even like the movie even less, basically. Because it basically emphasized the fact that, oh, everything I liked about the movie wasn't even like emphasized or like thought of first in the first place.
You were definitely looking for Detroit Become Human as a movie instead of whatever you got.
Yeah, I was essentially looking for that. I don't know.
You're asking for the wrong things out of the movie, brother. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry for acting for a movie that was selling me something about like how this woman being objectified. It's like, oh, let's just make it this slasher. I mean, even as a slasher too, I feel like it was hitting a lot of very similar notes too in the first place in that second half of the movie that I wasn't buying into anymore in the first place either. That didn't sell it for me.
Like, it just sounds like It just sounds like you wanted this movie to not be as normal as it was. Because I think at the end of the day, Companion is a very, very safe movie, I would say. It doesn't really take any crazy risks with anything. I don't really mind that, but, you know.
I don't.
I think that's my main issue with the movie. I feel like it was taking one step forward would be genuinely interesting to me. But then it just stayed there and played it safe. It's giving me stuff to make me, like, make the movie passable to me. But it's not giving me any, like, based on my own taste at the end of the day, too, right? It's not giving me anything that would make me love the movie.
It's just too normal.
Completely understand why you like it. Like the thing you're emphasizing, that it's safe, too. And I think it's a matter, at the end of the day, it's a matter of the way I, like, rate things is it's, for me, I build, the way I invest myself into a movie is, like, I start from a, like, 0, and then build it up from there. It just reached a certain ceiling and just stop from there for me. Like, not really saying I hate it. I'm just really, at the end of the day, I'm really just saying, like, oh, like, that's it? Okay. And then stop there.
You felt like it didn't justify your time that you spent on it.
Wait. Hold on. Can we go back to building from 0? That's interesting. I never thought about it like that. I usually start, like a movie, I start at a 5, and then I add or subtract based on what I like or don't like. You start from 0 and only add up?
Yeah.
Interesting.
A zero emphasizing not that starting from, oh, it's bad. Starting from, like, ideally, I have no expectations going into the movie. Of course, like, that's impossible to stop, right? Advertising and, like, basically how, like, word of mouth works these days. But ideally, I start with the movie from that 0 or, like, anywhere close to that realm and then build up for there. Oh, I like this movie, so I'll give it, like, an extra point. I'm not literally adding up points, but I'm just saying level wise, I'm like, oh, I like this movie, so I'll keep, like, I like it more now. It's giving me something else to like. I like it more now. Oh, it's not giving me anything else to like, so I was like, that's where it stops. Or it gives me something I don't like about the movie and it goes down from there, essentially, which, like, we'll discuss when we, like, talk about overrated movies. But yeah.
Wait, Rob, how do you? How do you?
I'm actually the complete. You know what? You explaining that actually makes a lot of sense on why we rate movies so differently. Because I'm on the completely opposite end. I start at 100.
Okay.
I start at 100 and then I subtract. Yeah, I definitely walk into a movie not wanting to hate the movie. So I always walk into it, they're like, all right, guys, we're going to have a good time, you know, and then stuff happens. I fall asleep, you know, a couple points get subtracted, and then it's just, you know, just stuff like that happens. But I always try to start out a film with 100.
Oh, okay. So you start at all the way at the top. Nate starts at the bottom. I start in the middle. That is interesting.
Well, I wouldn't say, I want to emphasize, when you're saying I start at bottom, it doesn't mean I start out with, like, oh, I'm going to this movie hating it. I just start out with, I have, like, no things.
But you objectively start at the lowest point of any of us, though.
No, okay. I feel like we're doing a disservice right now. I feel like what Nate's trying to say is that he starts out, he watches a movie with literally zero anything in his mind, and then the movie has to work to make itself interesting to him, because at the end of the day, he's committing his time, and if a movie's not worth his time, like, why is he watching it, right? So the movie has to have something to it. I mean, I guess.
I'm like thinking of like a button mash QuickTime event where you have to, like, fill up the bar. That's the movie for Nate.
I guess.
No? Not really. Okay. Let's go with this movie, right? Like, wait. Let's, like, we're talking about Companion right now. Okay, so my journey with Companion was literally like, oh, I think it's exploring interesting with this character. Like, how, like thematically, it's exploring, like, how we, like, men objectify women, right? Okay, it's like, that's something I like. That's a point.
You like men objectifying women?
Huh? Whoa. No.
Careful.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, like, that's why I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to clarify.
Yeah, of course. And it's like, oh, that's thematically interesting to me, right?
Okay.
I'm making up a point, as in, I'm not adding 2 points like, oh, now it's a 3 out of 10. I'm adding a point like, oh, I like this a little more now, right? and then is like, oh, I'm liking it more now too, because now it's adding this other layer where you're contrasting Patrick and Eli about how treating someone like a genuine human, like seeing them beyond the fact that this person is essentially like literally an object, but they're not treating that person, they're treating it with someone genuine emotions too. Okay, I like this movie even more now. And now this movie is a slasher and it's not doing anything for me. So it just stays there. And it's staying at a 5 now. Or let's say it's like a movie I don't like. Okay, I'll talk about this more later when we get it, wherever you get into it. But let's say with a movie I don't like this year, like Minecraft. Like this movie, these jokes aren't doing for me. So now it's lower. So, and it's only getting lower from there. So now it's like, oh, I guess this is a little charming. I like it a little more now, basically. Does that make sense how I'm explaining it?
Yes, it does.
It's a plus. Okay. It's essentially a plus or minus thing, right? Up and down.
Yeah.
It's essentially going a scale of up and down from 0, basically.
Okay, I'm the same way, but I go up and down from 5.
Right, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the movie, Josh?
Oh, Companion?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were going to Minecraft. Yeah, Companion. I watched it when it came out, kind of forgot about it. And then I kept seeing clips on it on like Instagram, stuff like that. Always the scene of Iris putting her hand over the fire or the candle and then having it burn. I'm like, oh, that's striking. I always forget. I was like, that's probably the only part of the movie I remembered after watching it. So then rewatched it a couple days ago just to talk about it. I'm like, man, I do see where Nate's coming from about the objectification of women and stuff like that. I agree because it's, but also agree with Rob. It's kind of a safe movie. Like you can just kind of turn it on and not have to worry about like, I don't know, not have to worry too much because it's ultimately a pretty safe movie. Nothing. What's it called? Nothing. I don't want to say important, but nothing crazy is going to be said, or that hasn't already been said by another movie someplace else or another medium. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
By
and you
the
also
way,
brought up a really good point too with the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You finish your point because my point has no relevance to what you're about to say.
Oh, okay. That whole scene, that motif about her putting her hand on the fire, or like that feeling of pain, made me realize with the movie too. I feel like the whole movie had a great like motif about how do these robots have feelings? Do they feel pain? And do even if they do, us as humans, would you even consider the fact that they do feel pain? Down from like Iris putting her hand over the fire too, and her clearly communicating to Josh that she does have feelings and she does like these feelings to her are real. But despite Josh or her expressing that, Josh doesn't even consider that too, which I feel like is a whole another factor in these kind of manipulative relationships where like a lot of manipulators don't even consider the fact that the other person even has feelings or not even care about their feelings in the first place too, which I found like is a very interesting detail I noticed.
Well, my little tidbit that I learned was that Zach Kreger was a producer on this film. And I thought that was funny because I have him later on as an overrated film of 2025. But anyways, I think we should move on to the next movie of the night. Next underrated movie of 2025. Oh, what's up?
Oh, now that you mentioned, one last point I'd like to make. Weirdly enough, I do see his fingerprints on this film in the sense where he's supporting an idea on an indie movie with a very specific niche concept too that I appreciate him producing.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next film right now.
Yeah.
Go straight into Minecraft. All right, Josh, take the floor.
I chose Minecraft. So I grew up on Minecraft. I'm a little younger than both of these guys here, but I started playing Minecraft like what 2013. Hold on, was that? Yeah, probably around 2013. And big part of my childhood. I would play with my cousins, stuff like that. And then I'm like, oh, it's gonna get a movie. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be awful because you get worthless video game adaptation movies every year. You get Mortal Kombat, you get the Super Mario Brothers. Actually, the new Illumination one was not bad, but you know, the stigma against live action video game adaptations has always been awful. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to expect too much from this movie. Then I was like, oh, Jack Black's in it. I enjoy Jack Black. I know it's not gonna be a 10 out of 10 movie, but I'm gonna enjoy myself. And I did. I sat down, rewatched it. I'm like, man, this writing is awful, but I'm having a good time. And I think people have forgotten how to have a good time at a movie where it's just like, no, it needs to do this. It needs to do this. Like, no, I just want to be entertained. It's entertainment at the end of the day. What you make of it is up to you. And I thought for what it was, it did its job. It was there were, of course, some not good jokes. There were some questionable graphics, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, I would like put this on at a party and just let it run while everything's happening in the background. I'm not going to sit down and analyze the hell out of it because that's just not what it was made for. Funniest things about it was, oh, Jack Black did this, Jack Black did, or like Jason Momoa did this. It was self-aware enough to not take itself super seriously. Because if it had taken itself super seriously or like dark and gritty, then it wouldn't have just been good. So I appreciate that it was like, this is going to be a ridiculous movie. Let's just play it as such.
You know, I actually do agree with you, Josh. I don't think Minecraft is a film that I should sit here and dissect frame by frame.
No.
It's very much a turn it on, I had fun type of movie. Because I went into it also with the same kind of like video game movies are kind of bad, you know? Like they usually miss the mark. So I watched it, I had a good time. He said the thing, he said chicken jockey.
He did say chicken jockey. He also said water bucket.
Release, exactly. I mean, it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's not gonna win any awards at the end of the day, but I think I could definitely turn it on and just leave it playing in the background, you know, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
like you're at family night and you're playing Monopoly, you turn it on and forget about Monopoly and the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that I can appreciate because you know, sometimes you put on a bad movie and everybody's like, wow, this is really bad. But, you know, I feel like this also is in the same realm of like Companion to me, where it's like it doesn't take enough risks to warrant it being like super hated, I think. Which is funny because I think it's the lowest rated movie on the list. It has an IMDb of 5.6 out of 10, a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. But me, myself, I watched it. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was a very fun time, and I could appreciate that it gave me such a fun time. I didn't take anything fucking seriously, obviously, you know, but yeah.
No, I was outer space high when I watched it the first time.
Damn.
I was like, I was with my friend. I was with our mutual friends, and I'm sitting next to one guy, and I'm like, it was right at the line where the two kids were introduced, and it was I know it was mom's dying wish for us to come to this town. I'm like, who opens a movie like that?
It's fire, man.
Who starts a conversation like that?
First we mine, then we craft, bro.
First we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft. I'm like, you know what?
And I think Nate hates this movie for that exact reason, that it's so memeable.
I can't look at it with a critical lens because it is just not that type of movie.
I think I want to emphasize right here, I didn't even look at it as critical lens. I think the humor in this movie is just not for me at the end of the day too.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't laughing at General Chungus or... No,
I wasn't either.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I get the vibe.
Laugh at General Chungus.
Oh, I know you would.
Yeah, but I mean, I get the vibe of this movie of like, it's like generally trying to be fun, but it's just something I'm not buying at the end of the day too. Like I wasn't even trying to look at this movie as a masterpiece too. Like both of you, I genuinely want to have a fun time with this movie too. I like Jared Hess when he did like Nacho Libre. And like and Napoleon Dynamite and even Masterminds too, which a lot of people like thought was very mid. Like I thought it was a fun movie. Yeah, with Zach Galifianakis and He also had him and Clement in this movie too. That movie too, I think. Or no, not that one. But yeah, like I generally like his movies and like the type of silliness it goes for. But I feel like this, weirdly enough, I feel like this one was like a bit toned down for him, even though it's like a very absurd movie. It, to me, it felt like something that was clearly trying to appeal to someone, and I'm not that was trying to appeal to, if it just makes sense. So at the end of the day, like, I don't hate people that don't like this movie. I do think it's a bit concerning on a studio level if that they want to make a sequel to this, and they're interpreting as people want more of this kind of thing too. Like, down to like them trying to make a whole thing about the Minecraft block party, about how
oh yeah, I think that was too much.
yeah, that's why I think it's a very like studio movie too. At the end of the day too, if anything, my favorite, the part I genuinely liked about the movie was the side plot with oh my gosh, what's her name? Why am I blanking? Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, with the villager.
And the villager too.
I hit you with my Jeep Grand Cherokee.
I hit you with my Jeep Grand Cherokee. I honestly love that movie. Like, if I could have 5 more hours of that, like, honestly, I'm genuinely serious on any series of that. I feel like the humor it was trying to sell me on a studio level wasn't for me, but it also kind of icks me out where they're trying to double down on certain things, which makes it, I feel like, a lot of the stuff in this movie even less genuine too. Especially since I feel like a lot of the stuff thematically this movie says about creativity, weirdly enough, feels like it's echoing a lot of stuff that was already said in the Lego movie too. Like, and then you have that one actress's name who played like Emma Myers as Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was like generally good as like there's stuff in this movie I genuinely like, right? It looks like if I'm trying to be sold a certain type of thing from the guy clearly being named Big like Chungus, and I'm clearly trying to be sold something and being pushed to buy it, when at the end of the day this humor is not for me. Like I said, it just boils down to that whole studio emphasis, like, oh, let's do a Minecraft block party and everything. Like, going to another bad movie, right? Morbius. Like, I liked that because it was unintentionally like not gonna be a funny movie. Like it was a bad movie in general. That was also something seriously at all. And then until they turned it into like a re-release too, with like all these iconic moments.
It's because the studios try to get in on the joke.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why I don't like
they try to capitalize it.
Personally, yeah. Like I said, like I want to emphasize too, like you both mentioned before, I also like Minecraft too. I like Minecraft as a chill game and everything, but like there's a lot of this movie thing in this movie. It feels like a lot of studio humor slapped on top of Minecraft elements too. I just don't like the fact that this movie feels very studio. But like I said, I don't hate on people that don't like this movie. At the end of the day, I just don't think the humor is for me at all. Like, if I laughed, I'd say I laughed. If I didn't laugh, then like it's just not for me. That's what I wanted to emphasize what I'm saying, but yeah.
Well, I think you're right. This is a very studio humor type film. But at the same time, maybe I've never watched Nacho Libre, and I've also never watched Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know if this is the same humor in those movies or not, so I can't really speak to that.
It's spiritually the same absurd. Yeah, it's spiritually the same kind of absurdism you get to in the very time. Like, hey, I'm very aware of what's going on. It's ridiculous. Let's like roll with it. But the thing is, I feel like it is very absurdist. But I feel like there's a lot of producer notes or studio notes that was sprinkled into the movie. As much as I will emphasize, it's very noticeable. Like the amount of stuff he gets away with this movie, down to the Jeffrey Coolidge plotline, he does get away with. It feels very much like only 60% of him.
I see.
And that's me putting it nicely.
I see.
Based on the other stuff I've seen of him.
I do appreciate that they're not like, especially like Marvel movies now, they will emphasize the joke a little too much. Here, I feel like they emphasize a joke, but let it breathe enough that it's just like, okay, I can kind of buy that. I can see where you're coming from with the studio humor stuff. I wouldn't say I wholeheartedly agree. I agree probably about like 60%, but some of it's just like delivery based, especially with the Jack Black stuff where he didn't need to go super hard on some of these lines, but he just did. I'm like, okay.
Dude, I saw Jack Black 69 Jason Momoa, bro, in a Minecraft movie.
I thought it was fire. I love that.
That was fucking crazy, bro.
No, you do bring up a good point,
you...
though, Josh. I think Jack Black really understood his goal in this movie.
Yeah.
And he was working double time. Jason Momoa was like the complete inverse of that for movie, where most of the jokes he said didn't.
Oh yeah, I didn't like a lot of his jokes, but if it had to do with Jack Black or like anything like strictly Minecraft related, then it was funny. But if it was Jason Momoa's jokes,
no. But the thing is, this movie doesn't work without Jason Momoa's character, though, because he literally,
no, exactly.
I think he wrote himself into the. I don't know if he wrote himself into the movie, but he's centered in the movie as a literal driving plot force that they have to go and they have to take the money and they have to make all these deals and stuff like that, and they have to be.
Yeah.
So it's hard to cut him out. Yeah.
Plot relevance than the young boy.
He actually did. Young boy's named Henry, by the way.
Oh yeah, Henry.
Henry,
I completely forgot.
Jason Momoa's character would have landed a lot harder for me if I didn't see Pixels, which is basically a whole movie based on the thesis of his character, which is like this washed-up gamer.
I completely forgot about that movie. Oh my god.
I didn't.
I actually like that movie. It's a movie with a genuinely bad movie. I also like.
That is insane. Well, Adam Sandler. Tangent. I miss early 2000s comedy movies. Like, we don't have anything like that today, and I kind of miss it.
Well, because they don't work now. Because every movie needs to make. Okay, here's the thing. Back then, movies could just hop on the DVD release, and that's where they make all their money. But now they can't do that because of streaming services and stuff like that. So each movie is forced to make X amount of money to either break even or show the studios, hey, we can do this if you just give us another shot, give us another movie, we can make another X amount of money. So.
To counter that point, I will say those types of movies are still being released. It's just not being released on a studio level. Like Adam Sandler is still literally made a movie this year.
He made Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, he made a movie before. He's still making movies with the exact same type of humor. And if you like that humor, those movies are exactly for you. Just not played on a studio level.
Yeah,
and I kind of miss that.
Yeah, like seeing it in theaters, essentially.
Well, we also don't watch TV anymore. I doubt that a lot of those movies, like, people watched in theaters when they came out.
Really?
Like, I feel like a lot of these movies are movies that you just feel like a lot of people did because you probably caught it on TV or you caught it on, like, a rerun or something. Or, like, somebody just put it on for you in the background.
You're going to watch the Minecraft movie 15 years from now, and it's not going to age well for you.
No, dude, I'm going to find the Minecraft movie at the clearance section and $3, and that's when I'll buy it.
Yep.
And it will sit on my shelf, and I'll be like, it was a Minecraft movie.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
a Minecraft.
It will age as well.
Yeah.
And it will age as well for you as much as a favorite Adam Sandler movie of mine when I was little.
Which was?
As much as Space Jam aged for me.
What was your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Happy Gilmore. Actually, no, I love Happy Gilmore. It'll age as much as Space Jam it will age for you, which is pretty much a very similar movie where it's a very studio movie that day too, with like an IP attached to it from a long time ago.
Happy Gilmore?
No, just Space Jam.
Yeah, that's
okay. I was like,
Space Jam.
What IP? What IP is attached to Happy Gilmore?
Oh wait, I take that back. My favorite Adam Sandler Wedding Singer. I was just saying that as a correction.
Oh, dog. It's because he literally forgot.
I was just saying that as a correction. I'm not going to get deep into it, but it's a fire movie.
What would you guys give Minecraft as a rating? Your own personal rating.
I would personally give...
I see.
Which is?
7.5.
Oh, dog.
Yo, it's a stupid movie, and I enjoyed it.
That's fair. Nate?
I would give the Minecraft movie, now that I've talked about it, I have more clarity on it, but I'll give it a 2 out of 10.
A 2 out of 10.
I knew it was going to be a 2. I knew it. 2 out of 10.
It's all right. And I give the Minecraft movie a 3.5 out of 5.
That's a 7.
That's a 7. I mean, look, I did enjoy how stupid it was. I understand that it's a bad movie, but I can understand, and I could be like, you know what? Pretty funny, man. That's all right.
Exactly.
So bouncing off that movie, I think it's time to talk about the final underrated movie 2025, Nathan's pick. Sorry Baby.
Yes, Sorry Baby. It's my underrated pick because I've seen no one. I literally only know one person that's seen this movie too. You kind of have to seek it out because it had a very limited release. It's on HBO Max right now if you want to see it. The movie is essentially about a certain incident happens to this woman and she has to deal with the emotionally and like the feeling she's left after is the most vague way I can put it, essentially, too. But yeah, what I really like this movie. I'll get deeper into it after you both just like talk about like what you both think about the movie, though.
Josh, you want to go first? Oh, okay, yeah.
God damn it!
No, that's okay.
Okay.
So no. I will go first.
No, you. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, I'm just gonna just so the audience gets like a clear version of this movie. The main character Agnes gets sexually assaulted during the movie. And then that is the event that kind of changes her. And then she is dealing with that the rest of the movie, but it doesn't follow Agnes on a week to day basis. It's very much huge gaps in time that you see these effects of that horrific event weigh on Agnes and like what it really means for her life after the fact, right? So it's very much a survivor film in the way that it doesn't really talk about the act itself. It happens, and then it's more so about the implications of what happened that time and then what happens like to the person after the fact. That's the type of film it is. I think one of the things about this film that I didn't necessarily agree with or like is actually the pacing or the way that they ordered the events in the film. I was talking to Nate a little bit about it the other day. That opening scene where we open, like, I guess kind of in the present of like that dinner party with her friends and stuff like that. I thought it was a little bit unnecessary. It maybe adds a little bit of complexity to relationships, but like, I think we could have just started out chronologically at the beginning. Yeah, and then have the movie kind of play out from there, because having that first scene there, I can see why they did it to like kind of ease you into it. But at the same time, I feel like it might have bloated the beginning. That is just my opinion.
And also, just to quickly dip into it too, I think I now realize another reason they added to it is just to raise the question of why does she feel so disconnected to these people she's hanging out with too. Basically, essentially raise the question to raise interest before you dive into it too. But yeah.
But I will say that during her relationship with these other characters in the film, it's not really like brought up, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really like matter with them. Like we only see bits and pieces of Natasha's character. Natasha was the annoying character in the film that was like super uppity in her face about it, about like getting the job or whatever. But I don't really think we see the other character in the film. His name escapes me.
No, we don't see the two guys afterward. Anyway.
Yeah. So,
but also like even the dinner's conversation too, you clearly see they're very disingenuous. Or at least in my perspective, they seem like very disingenuous people.
Absolutely. But honestly, it was a very this film does a really good job of space, I think. Like the literal concept of space. There's a lot of scenes that are just space and emptiness, but not in a bad way, where it's just like it's this feeling of emptiness like you said before, right? Where it's like you're trying to figure out where to go to next in a way. One other thing I liked about it was that I think she brought it up. She's like, this is affecting you guys a lot more than it's affecting me at the end of the day. I think she brings it up like twice. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really interesting kind of way to look at it, because like, yeah, it is kind of affecting her friends a little more than it's affecting her at the end of the day, because she doesn't want anything to happen to, I forgot his name, Preston? She tries to
Decker.
Preston Decker, that's right. Where it's like she's not actively seeking to punish him, or she's not actively seeking to do this or that. Like she, the window was there, they didn't get anything for it, and then it's just she kind of moves on with it. At the end of the day, like what else is there to be done about this? It is something that happened, and you just got to move on past it.
I understand why she was thinking that, because in the story you hear that he is a divorced dad and he doesn't want, or she doesn't want the kid to grow up without a dad. I'm like, okay. But I feel like that's just an excuse for her not to do anything, because she could have always just gone, is like, well, the kid has a mom. Just say it, sue the dad, get him, like ruin his life, pretty much. get not closure, but like vindication. But she gave
But
herself
that's
an
the thing.
excuse.
But that's the thing, and it kind of plays into that idea of like you care more about it than the character of Agnes.
Right.
Yeah.
And in a weird way too, that fact is pushing them away from her, which is exactly the opposite of what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh, what do you think?
This is my first time watching it, and I remember just sitting down and watching it. I'm like, I'm very audio sensitive for a lot of stuff. It's a very quiet movie. There's not a lot of yelling. There's a little bit of yelling. And then when there is music, it's very like subdued, very very calm. And I really enjoyed the pieces of music, but they didn't like when the bad stuff happened. They didn't like try to orchestrate it with a lot of music to try to tell you how to feel. You kind of had to come up with how you felt about it on your own. And I appreciated that from the movie. Because if it was like a super high studio or a super big budget movie, they would have had
Oscar Beatty even.
Yeah, Oscar Beatty, exactly. Where it's like oh, you have to feel this way because this happened. It's like no, come to your own conclusion. Like I'm like that's not what this movie's about. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you actually bring up a good point too. I think it's a very nuanced take on the subject too. Like you both even mentioned too, the amount of silence in the movie, I think goes to show the thesis main goal of this movie is to emphasize the fact that this is a very lonely person, essentially lost her best friend, or she didn't lose her best friend, but like she wanted her in a moment where she needed most, but she didn't feel like asking for it in the first place either, which drove her to a place where she feels very lonely, and secondly, like intimacy is like something that's very uncomfortable to her too after that moment as well, which I found a very interesting take on this subject too, because it's not emphasizing the whole essay aspect of it too, where it does it in a more subtle way about how it affects her relationships with her people, and about the fact that like she doesn't want to make it a big deal either too, even though she has very strong feelings about her, like she's generally traumatized by it too. But at the end of the day, she's just a lonely person. It's a very quiet movie. She's even like asking her best friend too, like, hey, you should visit more often too, which is like, I think it's something I kind of like in a sense call for help for someone that's very lonely, that she essentially just wants more company, and like she's going through a hard time, but she doesn't know what to go through, which is why she appreciates small moments like having a panic attack and running into that sandwich guy too.
That was my favorite scene, hands down.
Yeah, I think it's a very nice moment too, where it's not like exactly a savior moment too, but it's just a very coincidental moment she needed in life, because she just essentially just wants. Human. Yeah, it's very human. Like what I'm basically saying is, I love the fact that this movie is focusing on empathy, which I feel like carries on, or loneliness too, which after a traumatic event, like in general too, I feel like carries on. Like SA is a huge thing in this movie, and I like the amount Carrie treats it with, but I think it has something very good to say about trauma in general, where trauma can inversely like emphasize a sense of loneliness during a time where it may feel hard for you, but asking for help may feel very uncomfortable too, which I love about this movie. And why I also love about the ending, where she's essentially like reassuring this baby is like, I'm gonna be there, be the person to be there for you when I felt like no one was there for me too, which I really thought was very nice and lovely about this movie too.
Yeah, I can kind of understand where you're coming from. Like, this movie does do a good job for showing the after effects of a traumatic event like that, where I think she was a lonely person before, kind of.
Before
yeah.
So this not only hurt her like physically and emotionally, but it also hurt that aspect of her life, right? Where it's like sometimes with her friend's more concerned about like what happened rather than like how she's doing. Yeah.
Speaking of scenes in the movie, though, I'm actually curious about what you both think about that whole scene where Natasha is confronting her about getting the job, and how the aftermath of that is Agnes breaking down after she finds out that panic attack, after Natasha expresses that he slept with me too, and it was like was it consensual and everything.
So I think that was why my opinion on why she had that panic attack was because is like not because like, oh, maybe she caused it, but maybe it had, her sleeping with him had something to do with why she was assaulted. Not just like self-worth, but maybe like a cause and effect type thing. But that's how my brain works. I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
The way I kind of understood that scene, it was very much like because she asks her during it, she's like, oh, like, did you want to? And she was like, yeah.
Did you want him to?
So it was very much like the reason why I think she had a panic attack was because he gave her the choice, quote unquote choice. I don't know like what it was, in the context of like maybe he was manipulating her the whole time, where not Agnes but Natasha, where he's like, oh hey, maybe he's giving hints about like, oh maybe you can take up like the chair or whatever, or like the position when like I leave or whatever. But it gives Natasha a sort of autonomy that Agnes didn't have, and that really freaked Agnes out because Agnes was just there without that intention, whereas Natasha kind of knew about it beforehand, if that made sense. It didn't catch her in the moment, where Agnes was a victim of circumstance and Natasha didn't seem like she was. So it was kind of just like, oh, why did this happen to me, and why was Natasha's experience completely different from that,
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel the same way too. Especially with how nonchalant Natasha like mentioned the whole thing too. Like the fact that like, oh, this whole thing that happened to you is nothing. But to me, when it happened to me, it was generally traumatizing too.
Yeah, but and then it also has to do with like the personality types, right? Where Natasha is super like in your face about everything, right? And then Agnes is very reserved. So then having that kind of personality trait already, and then having this traumatic experience and having someone like take advantage of that kind of like quietness, reservedness to his advantage, it was a very like eye-opening moment, I guess, for her, where it was like maybe like because like he saw I was weak or whatever, like not as like quote unquote strong-willed as Natasha, like he could have done this to me but not to her, right?
Yeah. And also I think this also in the sense too with how she felt after that event too, with how lonely she felt too. I think not exactly resentment for her friend being in a separate place too, but I love the fact, or I found it interesting, the fact that like her friend, what's her name?
Natasha.
Liddy.
Oh, never mind. Liddy, her actual friend.
Yeah, Liddy.
Her real friend.
Best friend Liddy moved to replace from her too, and essentially like she doesn't resent her for it, but essentially isolated her too. Like if you look at her place, she's basically in the middle of the woods, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple miles away from the school, I guess. But like she's a very isolated person too, and it's showing that's not exactly intentional for her too. She's mentally isolated. She's also physically isolated too. Where you even get that shot at the end of the opening scene too, where it's just her at the door in an empty house too, which I found to be like very powerful. And I think it also goes to say too, where how loud trauma becomes especially when you're very lonely too, because that's all you're left with, right? Especially when you don't have a support system for you. So you're just left to sit with that event, right? Which makes it even more difficult to her, which also affects her relationships, like with her neighbor too, like in terms of that kind of intimacy too. Because Because I honestly think like the first reason she flung with that neighbor is for her to experimenting with the fact that can I still do this? Can I still emotionally like invest with this without feeling uncomfortable? Until she eventually became. And I also love the fact that Lucas Hedges' character, the neighbor too,
Gavin,
what served as a Gavin, yeah, served as a contrast too, where he's a very genuine guy that respected her boundaries too. Like he would always ask, like, "Hey, can I sit like in the bathtub too?" Which another scene I really love too is like, "Hey, can I?"
That was a good scene.
Like sit behind you too, and then she's like asking, "Oh, why?" And he's like, "Oh, I like it's gonna be like a hug and everything too." Like he has no like sexual motivations beyond it too. Like he even it's even literally mentioned in the scene too. He's like softer yet too, which I found like very like emotionally like comforting for her too, to see a man like that in her life too. I think it's overall it's a very disarming movie on a very hard topic, which I found very very appreciative too, because it's both giving a nuanced perspective too. And in that disarming perspective, even with the little bits of humor in that movie, makes it a lot more, weirdly enough, a lot more human and like easier to digest. And in that aspect, makes like I feel like makes it even more powerful as well.
So what would you guys rate Sorry Baby?
I'd give it 8.5.
Like 8.5?
8.5.
Oh shoot. Yeah. I that was like exact same rating for the movie too.
Rob?
I gave the film a 3.25 out of 5. Because I understand the themes of the movie and I understand everything about it, but I think the presentation of it, sitting down and having that experience watching the movie,
not for you.
It wasn't like, how do I explain it?
It's a very reserved movie.
It's a very reserved movie. It didn't like
very quiet.
Yeah, I think it just wasn't enough for me. I think the way that you feel about but it's not even the same actually. Never mind. 6.5. I guess.
6.5 out of 10. You don't want to give it
the way I feel about.
What
are you gonna say about the way I feel about Companion?
Yeah, but it's not the same. Where it's like I don't like I understand the themes and stuff like that, and I agree with the themes, but I think the presentation of it wasn't there for me. You know, I just wanted something a little bit more presentation wise, and I didn't get that because it's not about that. I think now is the perfect time to move on to the overrated movies of 2025. I would say that this is we don't have to go too much into depth about this movie or these movies that we bring up, because I feel like if we do, it's gonna add another like 5 hours to the topic. So who wants to go first? Who wants to shout out their overrated movie of 2025?
Me, because I have the most petty reason.
Yeah.
I just don't like Sean Penn. One battle after another. I love the movie. I really enjoyed it. I liked Benicio del Toro. I liked Leonardo DiCaprio. I think this is one of his best performances. I just think the whole movie was really well done. I just don't like Sean Penn.
I don't think you're supposed to like Sean Penn's character though, Josh.
No, as a person too, but just like his performance, I didn't buy it. It felt like he was trying to be like RFK, and that guy's, a tool bag.
I will say it's a very absurd performance. I will agree.
Yes, I think it's just so absurd that I just couldn't get into it. There's no point where it's like, oh man, I have to take this guy seriously. I'm like, no, this guy's a joke.
I see.
That's okay. That's the only reason why.
I honestly think that's a very valid point too, because his character begins and ends with whether like you're buying his character or not, right?
Yeah, and I didn't buy it.
Exactly. I think it's a very specific absurdist view on masculinity, because like with lines like or like what was it when she's chasing Vinny's character Willa is asking, like, oh, why is your shirt so tight? And his first reaction is like, I'm not gay if that's what you're asking.
Dude, I started laughing when he said, I'm like, okay, dude, very, very, very comfortable in your sexuality, huh?
Well, did I tell you that a very similar thing happened to me in real life?
Wait, really?
When you wore a tight shirt?
No, so I was with my driving instructor. This is when I first started learning how to drive.
Oh, I do remember
he had like sleeves on to protect himself from the sun. And I was driving, and then we're at a stoplight, and he looks at me, he's like, "What do you think about these sleeves?" And I'm like, I mean, they're all right, you know, like they're whatever. He's like, "Do you think these make me look gay?" And I was like, no, dude, they're just sleeves to protect yourself from the sun." He's like, yeah, okay, good. Anyways.
I think
I just thought about that real quick.
No, yeah, you're right though. Like, I think that goes to show, like, I feel like there's a very real aspect to this character where, as absurdity it seems, there are men who generally think this way too. That are this fragile about their masculinity, who are kind of also begging this much for like a kind of level or like our platform in life too.
Man, I will say that I think my gripe with one battle after another was it was too damn long.
Yeah, I kind of agree on that front too.
It was 162 minutes. That's a long fucking movie, dude.
Yeah,
it was also my first Paul Thomas Anderson film. So this being my first one, I was like, this shit's fucking long, dude.
I think that's a very valid thing to say. I'm personally coming from a place where I'm used to longer movies, so it was a non-issue for me. But I can see someone saying like, "Oh, this movie was too long." Honestly, if you were to cut anything out of the movie, you can legitimately cut out. Even though I would say it's like
I'd say about 40% of the movie you could cut.
I wouldn't go that far, personally.
Okay.
Actually, now that you're talking about how this movie is overrated too, I think it's like I'm not even putting it on the spot either, because the topic is overrated movies and like exploring your gripes on the movies too. What parts would you cut out of the movie then for both of you two, since you didn't rate it that highly?
Wait, hold on. I gave it a 3.5. All right, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Let's not act like I gave it a fucking 2 out of 10. It was a good time. It was just too long of a time.
Oh, yeah. I was just asking a very general question too, since more not referring to your score, but referring to the fact that you did find the runtime too long.
I mean, that's also the hard part. It felt long, but I can't place on like exactly what I would take out, because it's not like a scene was like. There's not like a single scene where I'm like, you can just get rid of this. That's the problem.
I can think of a scene. I think a lot of the first act, like before the time skip, didn't need to be there.
Yeah. Okay, I do agree with that.
But I do like Leo's performance in it. But I think the bit. Yeah. Oh god, the bit where he's like, I don't know the fucking password because it's been so long. That went on for way too long.
Yeah.
Anything with the Christmas Adventurers Club, I think those scenes stretched on way too long. That final like road scene when they're like going over the hill, I get why it's so long. Still too damn long. And then there's something else in it. I just can't put my finger on it. But yeah, those are the things that I would cut or shorten, for sure.
I think you shed a great light on the fact the scenes you were cut to. I think a lot of the scenes you're pointing to cut out are the more humorous scenes, because at the end of the day, this movie is also a comedy movie too. And there's a lot of scenes that are there purely... Well, like, thematically, there is a second layer to it, but the main purpose of the scene is, like, have that comedic layer to it. It was a lot of a comedy that wasn't really selling, it seems like.
Yeah, I thought that scene of him not knowing the password, it was just, I got it, and then they just kept on hammering it to me. I think that's the feeling you got during the Minecraft movie, the more I think about it.
You thought it was beating the dead horse a little too much.
I also feel... Or, to be fair to that scene, too, this movie has an A and B story going on, too. The whole point of the movie is this guy, is despite, like, quote-unquote, trying to be the hero in this movie, too, he can't remember a password for the life of him. He can't, like, what is it? He trips and falls off of a building as well, too.
He's an extremely incompetent fucking main character.
Yeah. If you're really being fair to this movie too, you can cut out his whole storyline and this movie would end the same too, because Willa at the end of the day too.
She saved herself.
I would argue.
Yeah.
Yeah, she saved herself, and she's kind of the main character of the movie too, because this whole movie is about kind of figuring it out. Like, oh, is she related to this horrible person or? And then the story with the father is, you know what? It's a great point too. It's like, have you both seen Lion King 1.5?
Yes. Yeah, I fucking love Lion King 1.5.
I remember having that on.
Okay. Okay, the analogy I'm gonna go with, at least based on how I'm reading what you said, is this movie is like if they put made Lion King 1.5 an actual B story to the Lion King movie.
To the Lion King. Yeah, I can see that. I totally see that.
Damn.
Do you see that?
They added in a full extra movie.
Yeah, I see it.
On now. Top of, yeah.
Yeah, a movie that is essentially a comedy too, because there's no sense of drama. There is a sense of urgency, if you're to be fair to that scene, where it's like, oh, he has to save Willa, but he can't do shit. You know, there is a sense of urgency there, but the main point of that is for a comedic effect. Essentially. Where he calls himself this revolutionary, but at the end of the day, nothing he's doing is actually affecting anything. Whereas I feel like you have Benicio del Toro's character, right? Who is just casually, like genuinely being a helpful person and fighting against the establishment in his own way by emphasizing the fact that he's saving his own, or saving people, right? Yeah. Rather than directly causing violence that doesn't do anything too. But yeah, I get what you mean by saying your gripe of this movie being too long and what you'd cut out with it being the fact that like, oh, this comedic side plot here that's kind of distracting from the drama of this movie if you're not buying that comedic side plot.
Yeah. What would you cut out, Josh, since this was your pick?
I'd have to agree with you. A lot of the first act stuff, pre-time skip, I'm just like, okay. Like, or I think it's because I saw the trailer for the movie so many times because I would go see movies and it would show up on every single one. So I'm just like, okay, I kind of know what this movie's about. So I'm just sitting there in the theater like, okay, like I know what's coming next. Can we just kind of move on? But that's just my expectations of the movie being warped by knowing what the trailer showed me.
I see.
I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of movies now too, but
yeah. That's why I usually try to avoid trailers personally.
Also, that's the reason I left Caught Stealing like a third of the way through. I watched the first third. I looked at my watch. I'm like, oh, it's kind of late. I have work in the morning. I'm like, am I gonna miss anything? I'm like, no. I probably got the rest of the movie just from the trailer, so I just left. I just left.
So, moving on past One Battle After Another. I think my overrated movie of 2025, Hunt Me Down, Burn Me on a Stake, it's gonna be Weapons by Zach Cregger. There are parts I liked about Weapons. There are parts I didn't like about Weapons. I actually like his other movie, Barbarian, a little bit more, which I didn't think I would say, actually. It just didn't hit for me. I don't know. A lot of people say, like, oh, the changing POVs back and forth, like the non-linear storytelling, obviously it's, like, amazing. And I'm like, well, it's cool if you do it twice. Yeah, but if you do it 5 goddamn times during the film, it's a little bit tiring, you know? I don't know. I feel like there could have been a different way to do it. Maybe that's just his thing. I didn't really necessarily agree with it. I would kind of just change that aspect of the film, to be honest. It also raised, like, critical acclaim with, like, everyone. Like, even the people I was at school, and then the professor was asking people, and people were like, oh, yeah, it was, like, so scary. It was, like, mind-bending. It does to me what Hereditary did to me. Also, I didn't really like Hereditary. Maybe that's something that maybe that's another reason why. But people were praising it up and down as like the next big horror film, and then I watched it and I didn't get that.
Well,
it's funny you mentioned that too.
Expectations.
No, yeah. Actually, I feel like it's for one an expectations thing too, because I was even with you. I was literally with you when you. Oh.
Yeah. We watched this movie together.
Yeah. Okay. I was even with you. We were watching this movie, and like even you were telling me too, is like, oh, I heard this movie's like really good and everything too, and I was thinking the same thing too. And for both of us, our expectation of the movie, it's the reason why I try to come in this movie, like movies in general, with low expectations. Like I said, starting from zero, right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it really affected my view on the movie about thinking it'd be a lot like more than it was, but it ended up being a lot less than what people were saying, at least in my perspective too. And it's fun. Oh, I was gonna say, it's funny you say that about how much it's praised when it only has a 3.6 on Letterboxd too, which is on the lower end in terms of Letterboxd scores too.
Yeah, because you know when people find something on Letterboxd that's like underground or underrated, they'll glaze the shit out of it.
Yeah, I never see anything under a 4 if it's like, oh, look at how artistic it is. I'm like, it's kind of awful, dude.
Oh fuck.
Man, everyone's just sick today.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Josh.
Whoa. What?
No, that was for Robert.
The marketing for Weapons was so polarizing. It was very like in your face about it. It was very mysterious. It was very cool, and it definitely overhyped the movie for me. I expected a lot more than what I got. And you know what? I think that's what I'm gonna say about Weapons. Because anything more, I think I'll stir the beehive. I'll put the bee's nest.
I don't even think you that's said enough. Yeah, I also don't think what you said is controversial either. As someone who has seen the movie too, I think it's hitting a lot of notes that are very niche, both direction-wise and like in terms of it as a horror movie. Yeah, I mean, just to quickly say my thoughts on the movie since I watched it as well too.
You watched it with him.
Yeah, exactly. I also think the movie is is overrated to the amount of people I've heard talking about it. Because one, I think, as Robert said, it plays on a very chapter POV structure that I think would have been interesting if the fact that it's repeating information that's already stored, like it already told us to. So you're not
repeating the timeline so many times.
Yeah, I feel like it's especially the fact that this is essentially not only a horror movie, or I wouldn't even call it a horror movie. Honestly, I'd call it a thriller movie too, based on my own taste. But it's like, I feel like first and foremost, I feel like it's a mystery. So when you're building a mystery movie and you have parts where you're telling we're trying to solve a mystery as an audience, right? If you're telling us information that's already been stated too, then of course, like, it's gonna make me lose interest just a little bit too. Like, the only parts I really enjoyed about the movie is the witch aspect about it too. And I thought I thought it was funny seeing this spoiler alert, seeing those kids literally tear apart that witch too. It seemed like a bit straight out of Adult Swim, but knowing Zach Cregger's background from The Whitest Kids You Know, I understand how that's like, that shit's hilarious too. I thought it was hilarious. But if you want to watch an actual good similar mystery about missing children, just watch Prisoners. Just watch Prisoners, honestly.
Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. I see.
Yeah, that's like very fire by Denis Villeneuve. But yeah, on a direction standpoint too, I think his direction is in the right place. I think most of the issues for me is just down to a story problem, or down to the script that he wrote, honestly. But yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
You know,
also overrated.
Honestly, I feel like because he was also the director and producer, and the writer, I think there's a lot of stuff that could have been cut out that he just left in because he's like, this is my movie.
Exactly. Which
like,
goes to show
he had a lot of people. He didn't have enough people telling him no. You know?
Exactly.
Too many hats. He was wearing too many hats.
Yeah. No, a lot of like too much control, right? Because
he had way too much control. Yeah. Like, he's one of the producers, he's the director, and he's also the writer. I'm pretty sure everyone was like, yeah, dude, that'd be fucking fire. Let's do it, dude. Let's do it. I'm pretty sure nobody said, nah, let's not do it. Yeah, you know?
Because at the end of the day, I think I truly, like, believe abide by the belief that film is a very collaborative process. So anything hindering that too, like especially like you'll notice with writer directors too, a lot of their movies feel bloated because they don't want to cut stuff out too. Which is why I feel like most of the problems you see with this amount of control, you see in the editing room, like based on the criticisms both Robert and I have with the structure of the movie, where if you're looking at it from another perspective, you're saying like, oh, this is gonna be cut out. You're repeating information, but it's his story, so like he's gonna say, of course, everything he says goes.
But you know what? That's all I'm gonna say about weapons. Nate, what was your overrated movie of 2025?
My overrated movie of 2025 is Superman, but I want to emphasize Superman 2025.
Get this guy out of here, bro. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Get this guy out of the chair.
You can put me on full blast. We can put me on full blast when you get your.
Sorry. Sorry.
You guys a big Lex Luthor guy, man.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
1A.
But yeah, you can get your soapbox and like blast me on it later too. Actually, you did blast me on it on the last episode. But anyways,
check out last podcast episode with our guest star Baron Logan. Very fun episode.
Yeah, exactly. I want to emphasize too, when I say overrated, I did not give this movie like a 2 out of 10 or some shit like that, like the Minecraft movie. This is nowhere near the quality of the Minecraft movie for me. I think there's generally solid and good aspects to this movie. I just don't love it as much as other people do. I don't like its visual style as much as other people do. It was a 7 out of 10 movie for me. I might even safe to say it's a 6.5 out of 10 movie for me, based on the fact that first of all, I like James Gunn, right? I liked what he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Superman, I think you could clearly tell is his passion project too. Yeah, this movie simply didn't do it for me on a script or even a direction basis too. I'm gonna be honest, most of the time I'm not a fan of James Gunn's humor. I can see why people find it funny. I did not enjoy it. The visual style of this movie, I'm gonna be totally honest too. I'm gonna straight up say it. I find this movie pretty ugly, especially since it's the same cinematographer as the Flash movie, and the way he films CGI shows it for me too. I don't think the CGI in this movie is exactly stunning too, and I also think the script is it's a very messy script, in the sense where the structure of it is very episodic for a film. At the end of the day, like, as I say before, like, I think this is a very messy movie, with, like, a lot of moving pieces that did not work for me personally. I do love the heart of this movie, which is David Cornsweet, and loving Superman in general, too. How he's a nice person, essentially a country bumpkin, down to, like, making his parents, emphasizing that they're not larger than life people. They're like real people, right? And I love that. Like those small moments that make this movie human. It's the plot of this movie that didn't do it for me. Overall, the things that mark down this movie for me is I'm not into the visual look of this movie. And I'm also not into how messy the structure of this film is. Ironically, as much as like slander I'm saying this movie, Lex Luthor is one of my favorite parts of this movie. Nicholas Holt's performance is my favorite performance in this movie too, because of how much he fucking comically hates this character, down to the fact that there's really veins on his forehead too. I love the silliness of this movie too.
It feels like a comic book movie, or it feels like a comic. Exactly,
down to episodic nature. Like, essentially reads like you're reading a 6-issue mini, right?
Hold on, wait, hold on. We're just retreading what we talked about in the other fucking episode. I'm not gonna do this right now.
Oh, it was? Okay, well, I wasn't here.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I think what you have to say about Superman is fair. I think that the cinematography of it is not that mind-blowingly amazing. I understand that. I understand why you think it's a little bit ugly. I can even understand why you think the CGI is a little bit ugly. But you know what? I really like the film.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And you know what? That's fine that you didn't.
And I'm glad you do.
You know,
everything you feel about this movie.
What's up?
Everything you feel about this movie, I feel about the Batman movie, actually. But
what?
That's a
okay. Wait. Just referencing the previous episode. Nate also doesn't like Superman that much as a character.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like,
so
to quickly state on that too, without going too deep into it.
Quick.
Yeah, of course. Without going too deep into it too. This movie is so Superman that reminded me of how much I like Batman. Not necessarily how much I hate Superman, but like how much more I prefer Batman as a character and his aesthetic as well too. That's all I'll say.
I can feel that.
I can understand where you're coming from. Do I agree with it? Yeah. Sometimes. On some things, it's all right. We're also going to be renegotiating your contract at the end of this episode. So
go right ahead. I'm
out there.
I'm gonna start some competition against your own studio and start my own studio. If you do that.
Fuck.
What are you gonna say? What's it gonna be? Dad said yes.
Huh? It's gonna be like. How about
that? I don't think you're gonna get any sponsors with that. I'm throwing it out there.
I'm gonna start it out spite at this point, basically because you just said that.
So, moving on from that topic, we're gonna very quickly go over what was your favorite movie that you watched in 2025. My favorite movie that I watched in 2025 was Superman in 2025.
I love that laugh.
Just throwing that out there, yeah. I mean, I glazed it in the other episode, so I'm not gonna do a rerun on that, but I thought it was a very good time. I watched it twice. I wanted to watch a third time today, but I fell asleep. I'm fucking sick as hell, dude. As you could tell during this podcast, I've been coughing up a fucking storm.
But
you weren't supposed to put attention to it.
Anyways, what was your favorite movie that you watched in 2025, Josh?
Oh, why me? I thought we were going with Nate.
Remember, Nate's is a surprise.
Okay. No, Josh, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I watched the Chainsaw Man movie. And I think that was one of the most perfect movies I saw all year. Because one, just the story and the arc that it adapted was one of the best arcs of Chainsaw Man, the Reze, the Bomb Devil arc. And it adapted it so well. It didn't add unnecessary things. It only added what it needed. And it was a short movie. Hold on, let me check how long that movie was. I
didn't watch the Chainsaw Man movie, so I have no opinions on it. But I did read it. Nate did watch it, though. What did you think about it, Nate?
I fucking loved it. It's in my top 4 of the, or maybe in 3. I'll just say 3 of the year, based on the pure fact that I think Fujimoto's work lends itself very well to cinematic adaptations, which is why I truly exactly. Which is why I also love him as an artist too, because the fact that as a manga artist or like a creator, his inspirations isn't coming from other manga and anime. His inspirations come from film, and you see that in his work too. Even in Fire Punch 2, he's literally directly referencing films he just loves. And Fire Punch is my favorite thing ever, or favorite work of his too, because it's an explosion. Really? Yeah, well, I think I love how I love the fact that Fire Punch is just a whole explosion about everything he loves about film into one book, which I really appreciate. Even though I consider flaws in that book as well. But even Look Back and Goodbye Eri lend itself very well to adaptations too, down to what we saw with the animated movie too. I want to emphasize, I saw this shit in like 4DX. By the way, seats rocking crazy. And everything. It's honestly one of my favorite movies experience ever. It's literally a roller coaster. Imagine the amount of explosions. It's a Bomb Devil arc, right? So there's a lot of explosions that are gonna happen in the movie. Even more than a Michael Bay movie. So, and the chairs literally shook every time an explosion happened, and it was an awesome feeling. But that's the thing, though, I love about the Chainsaw Man movie, because at the end of the day, beyond all these explosions, is a genuinely human story about two people that were so disconnected and didn't get to have an actual, like, genuine childhood, getting to reconnect with each other by connecting that kind of loneliness they once had to, which I found like very beautiful. I think that ties this movie together and makes it truly human. I'm also biased too. This is my favorite arc in the manga. So of course I'd like this. And I love Reze too. Everything in this movie I really love. But yeah, I also I won't have a single note or knockdown to say about Josh making his favorite. Cause like, honestly, like if it's like literally one of my favorites of the year. Yeah. I caught
it at a weird time. I had like 4 hours before I had to go to class. So I caught it. I had about an hour from when the movie ended to me sitting in class. And I think that it was just not enough for me to fully digest the movie. But I went back and saw it again. And I was like, man, this is just like, like I know people like meme with Martin Scorsese with the absolute cinema. Dude, I in the theater, my jaw was on the floor. I was it's like you gave crack to gave crack to an autistic kid. I'm like, this is just crazy. So I'm watching it. I'm like, and then for the second time, because they add more and more stuff, and I'm picking up stuff that you didn't even catch in the manga, where you see or I guess it wasn't in the manga, but you see like at the beginning you see all the country mice and stuff like that, where ultimately it is, or the country and city mouse, it's a larger part of the story later on, but it works just as well contained within this arc, where you have the country mouse, which is, oh, I want to live a comfortable life. It's not going to be as fancy. It's not going to be as super enjoyable as living in a city, but it's comfortable. It's safe. And then city mouse, where it's like, oh, I want to feel the thrill. I want to eat the good food, but I might die trying to get the food because it's more dangerous. And it made me go like, oh, where am I in this? What's my place in this? But I think if a movie leaves you going, I should probably think about how I fit into this world a little more. I feel like that's a 10 out of 10.
No, I don't think it's selfish at all. I think the fact that you bring up a good point. The fact that this movie leaves you with thinking about something too truly goes to show the value of this like movie in general too. What it has to say artistically, which I truly appreciate too. It's not action slop, right? Like any other shonen. Like it generally has something to say. I love this movie so much. I literally bought a shirt of Reze in the poster of this movie too, because I think this movie is like genuinely art.
So, Nate, now that you had this entire discussion about Chainsaw Man, what was your favorite movie that you watched in 2025?
My favorite movie of 2025 is a very hard tie, actually, between No Other Choice and Twinless 2.
Ooh, in the next mention for Twinless, hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna use this platform or this moment to talk about Twinless because No Other Choice comes out in the month. A lot of people are already talking about it. I can mention it another time. I have a review on it too. I said my thoughts. A lot of people already like it, but I think Twinless I would have made it. It's another underrated pick too. I think counts as an underrated pick, but it's one of my favorites of the year purely because it discusses a giant thread we have going on throughout this episode is like emphasizing how a lot of these films shed a light or set a perspective on loneliness. I think Twinless does it in a welcomingly uncomfortable way that a lot of people struggle to talk about. Because what Twinless is actually, Robert, you recommend this movie to me, so I generally have you to thank for showing this movie and telling me I like it, which I did too. So how about you explain it to whoever's listening?
Twinless is a film about how do I explain it? So Dylan O'Brien has a twin. That's basically the whole point of this movie, where it's like the main character, James Sweeney, or Dennis, who is played by James Sweeney, who's also the director and the producer and the writer and the main actor. He has a relationship with Dylan O'Brien's twin. That's name is escaping me right now. I think Rock, or is it Roman? It's one of the R's. Well, literally, because
Roman is the straight one. Rocky is the
Rocky. Okay, yeah. So, Dennis has a relationship. Yeah, Dennis has a relationship with Rocky, and then stuff happens, and then Rocky doesn't want to be in a relationship with fucking Dennis. Rocky dies, and then Dennis goes to the funeral, and he's like, "Oh my god, you do have a twin, and you guys look very similar. How can I like?" And he kind of finds this fucked up solace in spending time with someone that looks exactly like Rocky but isn't Rocky.
What he sees in Roman is a second chance at Rocky.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
When he was initially rejected by Rocky.
I think it's a very interesting film because it sheds a different light on a homosexual relationship, a gay relationship, that we don't really get this perspective kind of at all. In
it's
the
very
mainstream
disturbing.
media. It's a very disturbing film, but it's almost like intoxicating in a way, because you see that this guy, Dennis, is willing to go through so much just to keep the lie going, because the reason he meets Roman initially is because he befriends him at a twin loss support group. So then he has to lie and say, oh yeah, I used to have a twin and he died. You literally see him in his office photoshopping pictures of himself to have a twin. And it's just the depth that Dennis is willing to go to try to get a second chance at this person that's not the person that he thinks it is. It's very, like, intoxicating. I don't know how to explain it. It's a very, like, super fun movie to watch, I think.
A huge detail also in the fact and how he actually met Roman is he stalked him after the funeral to that twin support group, which he stalked him to, which is adds to how disturbing this movie is.
It's super. I don't know how you're gonna watch it, because I think this movie is like damn near impossible to find, because I was able to catch it in theaters. I don't know how Nate was able to catch it.
I actually bought it.
Oh shit. Actually. I genuinely
buy it for like $6.
I genuinely recommend that people check out this film. It's definitely a film that would fly under the radar 100%. Has Dylan O'Brien in it. He plays two characters. You get to see Dylan O'Brien with a mustache. That's cool, you know? I mean,
I will also say, I think Dylan O'Brien wins the playing two roles like competition in this movie of this year, based on the pure fact that, hey, he played a gay character a little too well. He was extremely charming as a gay character. He came out very naturally as a gay character too. And the split between Rocky and Roman in this movie too feels very like, was it completely different people too, right? Because Roman
100%
in this film is a straight man, but he's a straight man that was very I feel like it's fair to say he has extremely loose boundaries, to the point where he's letting Dennis which makes it easier for Dennis to kind of take advantage of those boundaries too, to the point where like it eventually like gets a bit too close. But which is another thing I love, the fact that this film explores, in the sense where how the relationship between loneliness and how yearning for someone else will cause you to like dismiss boundaries in the pursuit of wanting so hard for this person to be the exact thing you want, no matter how different they are from that expectation or that perception of that person you want to, which I feel like is a very like nuanced or insightful perspective on loneliness. Because essentially the goal of this character of Dennis is he's a lonely person. He doesn't have anyone in his life. He lives alone. He grew up very sheltered without friends too. So when this person by the way, in the film, the character Rocky, the gay twin, approached Dennis himself too, which is one for a shock, as like for someone who essentially like doesn't grow up with many friends, is like, oh, this person is interested in me, this likes me, which caused that spark too, and then they go on a date with each other too.
Think about Dylan O'Brien right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's with me right now. I choked on him.
Yeah.
He went on a date with him too. Even in the film, if you look at the date from a very objective, or even like the very least a third person perspective, it's a very simple date, right? Like, was it? Even if you look at the way Dennis was acting too, he acted a bit kooky too, you know? Like, I feel like it's very normal in the gay community too. I feel this might even extend to like actual like relationships, but like, you know, you go on a lot of dates, and like you're kind of putting on this performance for someone else too, like generally like kind of participate in the date and everything too, and all of a sudden they just ghost you, no matter how good you think like the date went and everything too. And I feel like ghosting is a very normalized aspect in the this queer community that I love the fact that it shines on, but it also shines on the fact that that feeling you're left with after that kind of ghosting, where it's like, oh, I thought everything was going well, you know, and you're left yearning for more too. When on paper, that date, if we're being honest here, like
it was
he
nothing
barely
special.
got to know.
Yeah,
it was nothing special. It was a
special.
very normal, average date, right?
Yeah.
And even like if you were to think in Rocky's perspective too, like this guy is very strange. So you can kind of understand. Well, like Dennis is a very strange person, so you can understand why Rocky would ghost him. You know, it's like, hey, this is a bit much for me. You know, like he's even yapping during sex too. In the sex, which I find crazy in the movie, they went full penetration in this movie too, which is like absolute cinema.
Dylan O'Brien give back shots, man. It's crazy, Josh.
Yeah, it's crazy ass greed too. To be the producer, writer, director of this movie, cast Dylan O'Brien just to top you.
And be the main character? Crazy ass greed.
Yeah.
This is the greed they talk about in the Bible right here.
Exactly, yeah. But, on Rocky's perspective too, I would even like to extend this to Robert. Let's say Dennis is a woman, and like you're on a date, and like Dennis is this random like woman you go on a simple date with, right? Like match on Tinder, whatever. Would you also think like, hey, this guy is like pretty strange too?
This guy's a little fucking weird, man. High key.
Yeah,
this guy's
exactly.
a little off. Yeah.
So do you, in a sense, understand why Rocky would like ghost him, or just like,
yeah,
hey, this date didn't go well, I'll just leave?
No, well, I get it. It's Dennis's romantification of what actually happened, because he's so used to being alone that when someone actually shows interest in him or someone's willing to give him the time of the day, he's obviously going to view it through rose-tinted glasses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What he's chasing essentially is a feeling, right? He's not chasing the person.
Yeah. He's chasing
that feeling of having someone in your life. So when Roman comes along too, the twin brother, he's projecting those feelings onto that person in a very toxic extent, where he's invading boundaries on a very vulnerable person who's lonely in his life.
Gives them a little foot massage when they're drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're even thinking from Roman's perspective too, Roman is also lonely in a different sense, where he lost a brother at the end of the day. A brother he thought he was close with, and a brother he genuinely looked up to too, as like him saying like, oh, my brother was the good one, right? So, which I find that motif at the end of the movie very beautiful, when he finally finds out that like, oh, my brother saw me the same way. I thought it was one-sided, you know? So overall, I love this movie and how it gives a very nuanced perspective and welcome perspective on queer relationships and loneliness. And I love the fact that it's willing to be uncomfortable and disturbing. And I just really love this movie, and I hope more people watch it. And even if they find it uncomfortable too, I hope, at least from Robert, like, did it give you a little bit more perspective when you watched it?
Perspective in what way? Because the way I viewed Twinless, even in a straight context, I think that everything that Dennis does is always kind of weird. Like, take out, just say for example that this movie was completely straight and it had no gay undertones or anything related to it.
Like Dylan O'Brien, instead of Dylan O'Brien, it was freaking the main girl, Sophie Thatcher, the main girl.
Sure, we'll imagine it's Sophie Thatcher twice. I think that this movie works in any context. I think that it doesn't matter if it has to be a specific way or not. Just the way they portray loneliness, I think, is a very real way of portraying it. That Dennis's character has always been super lonely. So you'd like, you hear it all the time with like the coming of age stories where it's like, oh, like you see love through rose tinted glasses or like X, Y, and Z because they haven't seen it any other way. And that it works just in general, like as a story, you know, and that's what I really like about it. And then add everything back into it, and then it just adds another layer onto it. About speaking about the gay community and stuff like that. So I also really like this movie, and I really recommend this movie. Josh, check this movie out, man.
Okay.
Hey.
Where can I find it?
That's a great question. I don't know. Nate, where can you find it?
Yeah. I bought the movie. So
okay. Physical, digital.
Yeah, digital.
No, you can
definitely.
rent it.
You can probably only get it digital. I don't imagine that you can get this.
I rented it from YouTube. I rented it from YouTube for $6.
You can also do it through Prime. Amazon Prime.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you can get the movie. To support it, please. I love this movie, and you know what? This movie is such a favorite of mine. I can confidently say, if I'm taking any movie away from 2025, between the One Battle After Another's, The Sinners, and
the Avatar, Fire and Ashes, the Fantastic Fours.
I'm taking Twinless out of this year with me.
A hot dog.
Genuinely.
He's taking Twinless, zipping it up, and putting it in a little Ziploc bag, putting it in his little backpack.
Yeah, and then clipping it to my belt like a little Labubu next to all my other favorite movies of the other years.
Well, hot dog. I think that's all we're gonna have time for today, guys. We talked about a lot, and I appreciate you guys for coming out and talking about movies with me. Yeah, very nice.
Of course.
All right, guys. Let's all say bye to the camera now. Bye.
There's not even a
camera.
Bye, guys.
Bye. I'm gonna go back to my little room in the back room, drilling. Insert sound noise of me drilling in the back. Don't worry about it.
Hold on. What type of drilling? What type of drilling are we doing?
No. Don't worry about it. This is something that's gonna be brought up again in like 3 episodes later.
What the fuck?
You can actually see what I've been building.
I actually have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.